가봅시다. 어이.
Good. You're right on time. I reevaluated all the evidence. It took every resource I had, but the final answer is clear. Ularu is the mole.
이모젠이 결백하다는 것을 알고 있었다.
Yes. You made the right call. I've briefed Masako and discussed her plans on handling this. While we both agree Ularu is guilty, we need irrefutable evidence before presenting this to the board. For now, we lead everyone to believe that Imogene was the mole, and the situation was dealt with.
일본어로 그 범죄자 그게 검은 인간으로 해놔가지고 번역이 흑인으로 됐구나. 자, 스파이인 척하면 우랄은 의심하지 않을 것이다. 오케이.
Good. Keeping Ularu in the dark is the key to taking her down. Masako has tasked Ularu with writing the program to bring down Infinity Ltd. We believe she'll take the chance to incriminate Masako within the program, so this could provide the evidence we're looking for. You will be tasked with the assignment to infiltrate Infinity, so before you go, I want you to bring that program to me.
마사코를 모함할 필요도 없다.
Good. Once Ularu believes she's properly deflected any suspicion, I've no doubt she'll be bold enough to hide something within whatever program she writes. Now, let's attend a meeting. We called you all together to discuss a recent security breach. We discovered a mole within the company who leaked vital information about Project Dominion to Infinity Ltd.
You've got to be kidding me.
Just don't tell me it's Vina. I think we've all noticed she's not here.
Before you speculate any further, no, it's not Vina. The guilty party is Imogene Salzo, much to my disappointment. Our operative here obtained the evidence to confirm it.
자신이 기술을 이용해서 우라를 이중 스파이로 만들려고 했다.
Dalton, how does something like this happen?
Imogene is highly trained. Ularu can even speak to that. We demand the best. So that's the threat we deal with.
I may have well-trained operatives, but security is your responsibility, Dalton. This is a huge failing on your part.
I accept the responsibility, but let's not forget, the mole has already been exposed and dealt with.
Of course, thanks to another of my operatives.
비난을 할 순 없지.
Watch me.
Imogene's been dealt with, so bickering is pointless. All I care about is reacquiring our property and what this might be costing us financially.
Vina is completing the internal neuroamp prototype as we speak. Our operative will receive the implant, infiltrate Infinity Ltd, and obtain any and all research. I have it on good authority. The experimentations they've done to replicate the missing pieces of our work have resulted in fatalities.
자, 인피니티가 용병을 고용한 것도 잊어서는 안 된다. 전 직원이 살해당했다.
Botched human trials and murder for hire? You don't bounce back from that. At least not with Infinity's legal team.
If I may make a suggestion, we should give this evidence to David at SSNN. It's the best neutral method of releasing this information to the general public.
That'd make my job easier.
David it is, then.
Masako, the internal neuroamp is ready if you want to send down the candidate.
I hope you're ready for this.
자, 언제든 어떤 일이든 할 준비가 되어 있다.
And that's precisely why I know we can count on you. Vina will be waiting for you in the neuroamp division in R&D. Once you're done, meet me in my office. Be ready to discuss the details of your next assignment.
Your job as a lab rat? You don't
Double check those measurements are right. Anesthesia.
자, 내가 왔소.
Ah, here's my lucky candidate. I hope you're ready to embark on one amazing journey.
이걸로 도대체 무엇을 하나?
The internal neuroamp is basically the next leap in our line of influential amplifiers. It gives the user dominion over a less dominant target, meaning you can heavily influence another person's thoughts and actions.
마인드 컨트롤 같네.
Hey, let's not get carried away there. That terminology is a bit heavy-handed. So, are you ready to get started?
가봅시다.
Yes, I always love a willing subject. Now, just a few details before we begin. Obviously, we'll be putting you under. I'll be making a small incision in the back of your skull where the internal neuroamp will be fitted. The whole procedure should only take 3 to 4 hours with little to no downtime afterwards, provided DeMarcus got everything entered correctly.
Did I not just say I quadruple-checked the numbers?
You know I'm just giving you a hard time. Besides, I've got to make sure my patient is reassured.
빨리 끝내자.
Fine, I get it. Now, just lie down on the table once you're ready, and we should be good to go. All right, let's get this party started. Well, look who's finally up. The operation was a success, obviously. Once you're able to refocus, let me know how you're doing.
자, 잘 됐나? 우주복은 언제 벗긴 거야? 얼굴에 따로 흔적은 없는 것
Hey
같고.
there.
야,
So, how are you feeling? You look good?
다 똑같아 보인다.
That's exactly what we want. Just a couple quick notes before using the internal neuroamp. First, you can only influence one person at a time. And second, the effect is temporary, so be prepared if you use it in a combat situation.
효과는 언제까지 지속되나?
Let's just say it varies based on the user. Some people have greater mental capabilities than others, which would increase the duration.
알겠다.
Great. Now let's test this sucker out. DeMarcus has graciously volunteered for science, he says.
그는 훌륭한 부하이지 않나?
Our preliminary testing was rigorous enough that there's little to no risk involved here. The biggest unknown was finding the perfect compatible alloy for the implant. We've had the tech itself working externally for quite some time.
뭘 할 수 있는지 봅시다.
That's the spirit.
외교, 선동, 위협, 마인드 컨트롤은 스캐너가 활성화되어 있을 때 발동할 수 있는 소셜 스킬입니다. 화살을 타겟에 맞추고 1호 소셜 스킬을 표시합니다. 마우스 휠을 이용하여 원하는 스킬을 선택해 주세요. 실패하면 모든 스킬이 비활성화됩니다. 소셜 30초 동안 할 수 있네요.
So, tell me all about it. How did it feel? Any side effects?
아무것도 느끼지 못했다.
Yes. Good. Hear that, DeMarcus? That's 2 for 2 now.
I heard. It really was fascinating how all I experienced was a moment of disorientation. It's truly remarkable tech.
이것은 가능성을
When
넓혀준다.
it comes to your job, you bet it does. Besides, the neuroamp isn't total control. If a subject's morals or beliefs in something are strong enough, we still see points of failure. That being said, it's been interesting to discover the actions our subjects sanction in their own minds.
Okay. As much as I'd love to go over the details and potential of this amazing piece of technology I created, Masako wants to see you. It sounds like you have an assignment to complete, and DeMarcus and I have a lot of notes to record.
Now that you've been outfitted with the internal neuroamp, it's time to put that tech to work. We're sending you into Infinity LTD. Lucas Drexler is about to learn exactly why you don't steal from Ryujin Industries.
자, 준비가 되어 있다.
It's good to know we're of the same mind on this one. All right. Yuko has provided a layout of Infinity LTD. You have two options for this assignment. We'll be providing you with the means for both. Option A, you gain entry through their maintenance access on the roof. Option B, we give you an assigned identity and arrange a meeting for you.
장점은 무엇인가?
Option A, you need to remain under the radar the entire time. Option B, you have a slight cover that may give you the opportunity to talk your way to your objectives.
회의에 참석할 것인가?
Of course not. The meeting is just a legitimate way in. Once inside, you'll be led to a waiting room where your host will be running late. That's your opportunity to make your way to either the executive floor or R&D.
도착하면 알 수 있겠지.
As long as you're prepared when the time comes. Now, depending on your preference, you'll either find yourself in the maintenance hallway or the marketing department. From there, you have three targets. First, you have Lucas Drexler's computer, located in his office on the executive floor. Second is Faye Sengsavan's computer, in research and development. And third, you need to obtain the prototype they are working on, also in R&D.
As you can see, you've several floors to traverse. So I hope you're prepared for an adventure.
문제 없다.
That's what we're counting on. Now, I had Ularu create a program that you need to run on both Lucas and Faye's computers. I'll let her explain the details.
You see, once we expose Infinity LTD, all of their data is going to come under intense scrutiny. We only want the public to know about their mercenary hires and unauthorized human trials, but Project Dominion needs to remain confidential. I've created an overseer program that will gather all the evidence we need, and at the same time delete anything relating to Ryujin and the internal neuroamp.
알겠다.
Please do. I hate to think we're putting our faith in the wrong operative. Now, we don't want to mess on this one. A body count will only distract from what we're trying to accomplish here. Simon Rychek provided some useful info on how to evacuate civilians from the building. I'm sure you remember him from Sidonia. Infinity's maintenance crew is understaffed. It's only a matter of time before pressure gauges go unchecked and they have a massive issue on their hands. Once that pressure becomes too much, every floor in the building is going to suffer from gas leaks, setting off an automated alarm to evacuate the building. Simon was able to get a passcode for you to access their system's computer, so you can force the heating system to fail.
고려하겠습니다.
I'd highly advise you use it. This assignment isn't the time to test your abilities. The only thing you're out there to prove is that you can get this job done. We're also issuing you an operative suit. It should help reduce their ability to detect you. These suits are typically reserved for the senior ranks, but we want to reduce as much risk as possible.
아니 시니어 랭크가 있으면 왜 3일차한테 주는 거야? 자, 감사합니다.
Just make sure you follow through on that statement.
Once you've run the Overseer program and obtained the prototype, your final step is to deliver the slate to David Barron at the SSNN field office. If he asks questions, feel free to give him just enough information to pique his interest, but no mention of Ryujin or who you are. SSNN is used to anonymous tips. They'll do whatever verifications they deem necessary on their own to confirm the story.
루카스의 얼굴이 기대됩니다.
You and me both. So, any final questions before you go?
언제든 갈 수 있습니다.
Good luck, and be sure to report directly back to me when you return.
Here's Simon's passcode, your operative suit, the Overseer program, and your cover identity. Your cover ID card is encoded with roof entry and elevator access, so that's your ticket in, either way. Don't screw this up, Skylar Lumen.
Cause any trouble.
Do you have the program?
자, 프로그램을 얻었다. 증거를 찾을 수 있으면 좋겠네.
I'm certain Ularu won't pass up this opportunity. So, let's take a look. Aha. The decryption's hit a snag. There's definitely something here. This is exactly what we needed. According to this code, Ularu intended to plant false evidence that would show Masako was working with Lucas. The moment you launched the Overseer program, a series of fabricated communication files would have been uploaded to the Infinity Ltd network. One of them even frames Masako for encouraging Lucas to push for early human trials. I'm going to copy the necessary files off this slate and issue you a new one. I want to keep this one intact, so Ularu can't dispute it. All right. Now, we finally have the evidence we need to prove Ularu's guilt. Yes. And had you not brought this program to me in the first place, you would have been the one planting the false evidence. Without that falsified evidence, Ularu is in for a big surprise. I fully expect she'll be eagerly awaiting SSNN's broadcast, anticipating Masako to be accused alongside Lucas Drexler. Here's the new slate with the revised Overseer program. Let's get this assignment finished the right way.
Not sure if those Varun zealots live in space.
아, 여기가 인피니티 LTD였구나. 여기가 그거였구나. 본사 나가 봅시다. 난방 시스템으로 공작하기. 여기가 엘리베이터. 써보자. 왜 안 해? 해 빨리. 됐고. 자, 됐고요. 이놈의 컴퓨터 크레딧 챙기고 작업장 메시지 클리닉 직원들과 연락이 닿지 않는다. 예약하기. 오버시어. 아, 프로그램 돌렸고요. 여기서 나갈 일만 남았구만. 됐고, 내려가 봅시다. 환풍구 같은 거 없이 가야 되나? 그럼 빡센데? 저쪽은 별도로 숨을 수 있는 데가 안 보이고. 넌 대체 왜 아무도 인식을 못하니?
Yes?
얘는 회사에 좀 악감정 있나 보다. 됐다. 이게 이렇게 되네. 여긴 왜 이렇게 조명이 하나도 없지? 혹시 모르니까 이쪽으로 해서 갑시다. 어허, 경비가 한둘이 아니네. 됐다. 이게 이렇게 되네. 여긴 왜 이렇게 조명이 하나도 없지? 혹시 모르니까 이쪽으로 해서 갑시다. 어허, 경비가 한둘이 아니네. 그치? 아이디 카드는 털었고. 오케이. 여기 문 열렸어. 좋아. 저놈만 어떻게 하면 되는구나. 저장해주고. 예, 알람 중지. 좋아요. 제가 절로 빠지면 창문 닫고 여기서 제트팩을 끼고 갈 수 있나? 빨리 가세요. 작업자 진행 중인 프로젝트. 다 됐고 이제 빠져나갈 것만 남았구만. 갑시다. 일반. 아, 연구 제네 카드 얻어가지고 이제 왔다 갔다 되는 거구나.
Don't be nervous. You got this.
야, 아저씨. 줄 거 있어요.
It's important that the people of the United Colonies can trust their primary news source. Can I help you?
당신이 관심을 가질 만한 뉴스가 있다.
Well, I'll be the judge of that. What's this so-called story about?
직접 알아보시게.
All right. I'll take a look. I don't suppose you want to tell me how you got this evidence.
이미 답을 알고 있는 거 아닌가?
Well, you can't blame me for trying. Is there at least a name I can cite as my source?
그저 걱정하는 시민일 뿐이다.
Why am I not surprised? As long as the evidence is adequate and verifiable, I expect it'll be aired within the hour, if not sooner. Now, if you'll excuse me, I obviously have some work to do.
자, 일 끝냈습니다.
I've yet to hear anything of note on SSNN. Let's hear your report.
아무 문제 없다.
Good. David won't be able to resist a story like this. He'll do some preliminary confirmations, which will be enough to get the broadcast out to the public. And how did the NeuroApp perform?
매우 편리한 물건이다.
I thought it would be. So now it's just a waiting game for SSNN to break the news. Once the story airs, we have another board meeting scheduled to decide how to handle Infinity. Go ahead, Maeve.
The SSNN broadcast has started. Shall I patch it through?
Yes, thank you.
Infinity LTD and Lucas Drexler are currently under investigation for a number of violations, including murder for hire, unauthorized human trials, and corporate theft. Authorities representing the UC and the Freestar Collective have been dispatched to a consolidated mining station and the clinic. Both locations are believed to hold numerous victims. Drexler's motivation appears to be an attempt to launch a new product based off stolen information from a competitor. The details on the project itself and the competitor have yet to be confirmed. This has been David Barron for SSNN.
Perfect. This exposure puts Infinity right where we want them. The meeting will begin momentarily, but I want you to discuss the options we have with the other members.
어떤
Infinity's
옵션이지?
net worth is about to hit rock bottom. So this gives us the opportunity to win a little more public faith.
류진에게 유리하게 작용할까?
Infinity is about to crumble before the eyes of the public. They employ thousands of people, and those thousands of people are now worried about their jobs. That's where we come in. First, we'll issue a public statement expressing disgust at their leadership, but sympathy for the innocent workers. That's when we offer to acquire them.
아무도 일자를
Quite
잃지
right.
않겠네.
The truth is, we'll be making evaluations. We'll shed any employees who don't make the cut, slowly but surely. By incorporating Infinity, we eliminate a competitor, get their best employees and contracts, and all while boosting our public perception.
유능한 직원이 있다고 생각하나?
We've already done some initial evaluations, so I'm certain of it. Infinity has a lot of appeal being in New Atlantis. I'm sure plenty of brilliant minds are there because they prefer the location. Plus, there's always that handful of people that think they've got something to prove by not working for Ryujin. As if other corporations are really any better.
윈윈으로
I'm glad
돌리네.
we're on the same page. Which is why I'd like you to talk to the board to convince them this is the right move. There are several who might disagree, and you have the perfect tool to help sway them.
임원에게 사용하게 할 생각인가?
Yes, that's exactly what it's designed for. The bright side being, they'll never know.
약속은 할 수 없습니다.
With the tech we've given you, I expect promises.
난
You'll
있는데 넌
find most
없잖아.
of the board members in their offices preparing. Vina is also here, waiting for the meeting to start. We'll need at least 50% of the vote to go our way. In the event of a tie, I will make the final decision. I trust you'll get it done.
자, 시작합시다.
All right, everyone. As you all know, we've successfully exposed Infinity Ltd's botched human trials and murder for hire through SSNN. The public is demanding their leadership, namely Lucas Drexler, face trial, and he's probably writing his resignation as we speak. Ryujin will be launching a statement, but I believe now is the perfect time to acquire Infinity Ltd.
아무 말도 하지 않는다.
Believe it or not, I agree. The acquisition has risks, and it's going to create a lot of work for all of us. But the overall payoff will be worth it.
That and Infinity Ltd's current situation makes them more affordable than ever.
Arguments? None? Excellent. Moving on, then.
I think what we're all overlooking is what led us to this situation to begin with. Yes, our security was compromised. But considering Dalton was hired by Masako, the issue obviously starts at the top. In fact, I propose that Masako be removed from CEO altogether.
Ularu, this isn't a line you want to cross.
And considering you're the mole, if anyone's going to be removed from power, it's going to be you.
Hold up. Are you saying you lied to us?
Dalton, the last meeting we had, you distinctly said Imogene was the mole, and she'd been dealt with.
이를 해내기 위해 거짓말을 해야만 했다. 그 방법을 잘 알고 있지 않은가?
Do you even have any proof to back up this outrageous claim?
Of course we do. The malicious code you hid on this slate to upload incriminating evidence against Masako onto Lucas Drexler's computer.
To put it bluntly, Ularu, you're fired. Security will hold you in your office until a proper exit interview can be done.
This isn't right. I should at least have the opportunity to resign.
And allow you to still be marketable to a competitor? I don't think so. This may be news to me, and I will be reviewing the evidence closely. But this isn't something you just get to walk away from.
액수된 거 축하해.
Security, escort Miss Chen to her office and see that she stays put.
You'll regret this. All of you.
I believe the only regret would be trusting you to begin with.
All right, back to business. All in favor of acquiring
아
Infinity
그러면은
LTD?
그 위로 그거 막는 거 못하네.
Alexis, start drawing up the necessary documentation. Anyone have anything else they'd like to bring up?
시장에 출시하기엔 너무 위험하다.
The internal neuroamp is a key component of Ryujin Industries' success for the next 10 years, if not more. Why would we shelve it after we've finally perfected it?
기본적으로 마인드 컨트롤 장치다.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but he's right. Regardless of the pros, the cons are too morally and ethically irresponsible to move forward with.
Agreed. Not to mention the security risks.
Very well. All in favor of shelving Project Dominion?
Aye.
All against?
Nay.
We'll start up discussions on how to handle Project Dominion in the future. In the meantime, at least the only person to have one is our own
좋아.
operative.
아 잘됐다. 내
Internal
표도
neuroamp
포함되는구나.
research will continue. The dangers have been noted. And don't worry, I'm certain between Alexis and Genevieve, any legal or moral issues will be taken care of by the time it goes to market. Any other matters to bring forth? None? This
왜?
concludes our
아
order
내가
of business
CEO가
for today.
돼야지.
So much work to do.
자 얘기하자.
So, Infinity LTD learned a lesson the hard way, and we exposed the traitor among us. You've proven yourself to be quite the asset here at Ryujin.
내가 할 일을 한 것뿐이다.
Of course. But these particular assignments required a certain secrecy that most do not. I truly appreciate the work you put into exposing Ularu. No operative has ever had to investigate our own to the extent that you did. I can imagine it may have been a lot of pressure, considering you were fairly new at the time.
압박감 따윈 없었다.
I hope that enthusiasm sticks with you for the foreseeable future. Imogene's instincts were right about you. Now, as promised, I have your bonus. I hope you'll find it appropriate for all you've done. And I'm promoting you to senior operative. You've more than earned it.
새로운 지위에 대한 자세한 내용을 알려주세요.
As for the details, I think someone back on the operations floor would prefer to explain those to you.
뭐야? 이거 썼다고 현상금이 안 걸려?
Now isn't a good time.
Excuse me, I have a lot of business to attend to now.
이게 왜 안 걸렸어? 저 경비도 사장한테 되게 불만이 컸나 보다. 바로 눈앞에서 뒤통수에 샷건을 쐈는데. Hey, Imogen.
You've certainly shaken things up around here. I still can't believe Ularu tried to frame me. An obvious misjudgment on my part. But now that's all in the past. It's time to get back to your typical day-to-day.
돌아와서 다행이다.
And I'd say it's good to be back if I hadn't returned to a mountain of paperwork. Now, since you were new, you've been dealing with people, but most of our assignments are generated on the mission board. The board holds any available assignments that our techs have pieced together, and I've approved. Questions?
어떤 임무인가?
Nothing you aren't already familiar with. You experienced the majority of what we do here during
그게
your training, if you
훈련이었어?
recall.
전혀.
Uploading a few files, manipulating a narrative or two, obtaining schematics, it's just more of the same.
일이 쉬워지네.
I wish. Assignment approval isn't exactly riveting work. With your promotion, you've earned yourself an office, so whenever you're ready, you can find your own personal mission board inside. And the best perk of them all, you're free to make your own hours. Oh, and congratulations, of course.
밖에서 접근할 수 있나?
No, only within the tower. The security risk would be far too much to allow access to that data in a public space.
언젠가 이곳을 운영할 생각이다.
At this point, I wouldn't doubt it. Go check out the board, and if you have any questions, I suppose I can start up an open door policy, just for you.
왜 나만을 위해 문을 열어놓는다는 거야? 여기가 내 방이구나. 오, 사무실이 생겼어. 오리온 영류 어쌔신 태평양이라는 총을 줬네. 샷건. 아, 꼈어. 미션 보드. 아, 좋은데? 야, 오늘은 여기까지 하고 또 다음에 하는 걸로. 바이.